What is external validation? What does it mean? What are the types of external validation? Is it good? Are there any negative consequences? If you're interested to know the answer to any of these questions, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Anna and welcome back to my channel. Today we will talk about external validation. External validation, it's when you look for external sources of approval outside of yourself, like opinions and judgments of other people, other groups, or even society as a general. There are different types of external validation, such as verbal, social, online, cultural, academic. In short, it's almost in every area of your life. The condition starts from the early years when you make first step, say your first word, or bring that first trophy, and you get a smile on your parents' faces. And as you grow, that conditioning deepens. You want to make your parents happy and accepted by your peers, and that influences your choices and your behavior. Do you feel good enough? How often do you seek approval from others? Does other people's opinion of you is more important than your own? If you feel that you constantly need to prove yourself and your self-worth, you're not alone. It's natural when humans want to belong and want to be seen, heard, and valued by others. It becomes an issue when, usually because of our upbringing, because of our experiences, or some other circumstances, other people's judgment and opinion becomes more important than what you think about yourself. It's not your fault, because everyone goes through this, and it's challenging to completely disconnect from the external environment and their opinions and their judgment of your worth. And even though it's not your fault, it's your responsibility what you do about it if you feel that it's affecting your life. Let's talk about some scenarios how relying on the external validation too much can affect your life, and then you can decide if it is something you want to deal with or not. If what others say and think is more important to you than your own opinion, your self-esteem is in a fragile place. You will be shattered by any criticism or rejection or unpredictability of external circumstances. And every new endeavor, like new job or new relationship or starting a business, it takes an element of risk. And when your self-esteem is in a fragile place, then you will try to avoid any risk and stay in your comfort zone. The constant need for validation will keep you on edge and in a state of anxiety. Seeking that next accolade or approval around the clock can be exhausting. It can lead you to trying to avoid any conflicts with people or even socializing with people. Being stuck in a constant fight or flight state and fearing the next criticism or the next rejection will wear you out and deplete your energy. And if you do this for too long, then you can completely lose the sense of being authentic, and you will be like a chameleon which adapts to situation and people in a way which pleases them. You can become a habitual people pleaser and stay in toxic relationship for far too long, struggle to set boundaries, and just not feel good about yourself because you are constantly tense in this state where you want to fit in, you want for the things to go smoothly, you want to avoid that next criticism, you want to avoid that next conflict. So you're constantly on the lookout what is going to go wrong. You're constantly feeling that you need to control your words, you need to control your actions, so they fit in that scenario where people are happy with you, where people are praising you, where people are approving of your actions, and it's never ending. You can't win, because no matter how hard you try to please everyone, to fit in and to do everything right, you will never be able to please everyone, and you will never be able to avoid criticism for the rest of your life, and you will never be able to escape the judgment. It will happen. In short, you lose your identity and rely on the outside world to dictate your actions. I'm talking about an extreme situation, and of course there can be different variants on that spectrum, but the bottom line is, when you constantly relying on the external validation and approval, you lose yourself. There is an important note here: not all external validation is bad. There are good and positive sides to it as well. As I said, it's normal and human to want to be heard and seen and validated by others. And when you hear that compliment or when you hear that praise, it might give you some motivation to set goals and achieve them. When you seek that external validation in a group settings from your peers, it can help to build relationships, strengthen relationship, and have that sense of belonging. And constructive feedback is necessary because it will help you to understand what areas for improvement you have and how you can keep developing on a personal level. And validation of achievements makes them more meaningful and enjoyable. It's nice to get a trophy or that bonus at work or that kind work from your parent or your boss. We all feel good getting praised. It's not all bad. The issue starts when what others say or think about you becomes more important what you think about yourself. The issue starts when what others say and think about you becomes more important than what you think about yourself. When you depend on external validation, it runs your life. So how to understand if you are maintaining a healthy balance in your reliance on other opinions and approvals? Answer the next 5 questions and be honest with yourself. Am I comfortable with disagreement? Do I make decisions based on my values? How do I respond to failures or rejection? Is my self-esteem stable? Am I able to set boundaries? If you answered no to one or more questions, then you might want to reconsider how much weight you give to external approval and opinions. And to help you, I also created a workbook which you can access by clicking on the link in the description of the video, and it will just include those questions and some more to take you through this process to understand a little bit deeper where you are on this spectrum of external validation, how important it is for you, and how much do you value your own opinion. For me, the hardest part was dealing with rejection. For me, the hardest thing was dealing with rejection. I created this persona which I wanted to sustain and maintain, and I was constantly watching my actions and what I would say, so my image would match that persona. And it was exhausting because if I didn't get praise, if I failed, if I felt that what I said or did was out of line with that image I had in my head and I wanted others to see, it was really stressing me out. I felt that I was not worthy, I felt that I was not enough, and as long as I maintained that image, it was okay. And if I stepped outside of it, I felt like I was losing myself. I felt bad about myself. If you feel that you rely too much on what others say and think about you and want to feel more confident on your own, know that that is a journey. Step by step, you will be working towards needing less external validation and building your own self-validation, your own confidence, your self-esteem, but it is a journey. And there is no quick fix, but there are a few things you can do about it. Start with self-awareness and become curious and just observe your external validation seeking behavior. Like, when does it happen? What triggers it? How does it make you feel? What do you do when you are in that situation? What is the pattern? Journal on your thoughts and emotions, because sometimes we are too much in our head and we're so used to these habitual patterns that we don't even notice them anymore. So when you journal, you can then objectively look at the situation and your feelings and your thoughts, and that will bring clarity. Challenge your narratives about your need for self-validation. Remember that our behavior, our thoughts, what we think, what we do, it's all rooted in our beliefs. So when we shine light on those limiting beliefs, then we can choose to change them to empowering ones. Acknowledge your core values. What is important to you? Just spend some time getting to know yourself, who you are and what is important to you. What do you want? And in terms of core values, just understand what things are non-negotiables for you and which things are important and which things maybe you don't really care that much about, because we always have a scale of priorities. And when you understand what are your core values, your non-negotiables, and align your choices and your decisions with those core values, you will feel more authentic, you will feel better about yourself. And I created a list of values so it might be easier for you to decide which are your core values, and that is in the workbook I have mentioned. And surround yourself with reminders about your core values. It can be some symbol like a bracelet or something that every time you look at it, it reminds you about your core values, or maybe a necklace or a ring. And you can also choose affirmations which help you to stay on that path. Examine your boundaries and set the boundaries you feel comfortable with. If you feel that in certain relationships you are overgiving, you feel resentful because you feel like people are using you, they are not respecting how much you give, they don't respect your feeling in your situation, then clearly communicate to those people what is acceptable and what is not, what you will tolerate and what you will not. Setting clear boundaries is self-care, and people who care about you, they will accept them and they will support you. But people who don't, that's fine, because if they don't, they might not be good people for you to be around anyway. How do you talk to yourself? Challenge your inner critic, that nagging voice inside your head which makes you seek approval from others. Do you talk to yourself as you would talk to someone you respect and love? Our self-talk is so important because we are talking to ourselves all day. As long as we are awake, we constantly have this little voice in the background. So if during your awaking hours you are constantly telling yourself nasty things, you are harsh, you are unkind to yourself, that definitely doesn't do any good to your self-esteem or to your self-value. And when you failed or you are in a situation where you've been rejected or criticized, then comfort yourself like you would comfort a friend, and realize that everyone goes through some criticism and rejection is normal. Be kind to yourself. Again, journaling can really help you to recognize those unhealthy patterns and reframe your thoughts. And most importantly, remember how special you are. There is no one else in the world like you. You are the only one like this in the world. Your genetic code, the experiences you had, the circumstances you're in now, it's all created this unique person you are. Remember, there is no one like this in the world. You are special, or more precisely, you are unique. Remember that. I hope you found this video useful. As I said, there is a workbook in the description of this video. Subscribe, share this video to someone you think might benefit from it, and I will see you in my next video.